Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all those who are attending us for another Kumi Now session. It is a pleasure to be hosting another session covering a very important topic. Today's topic will be on the city of Bethlehem, and we have a local Bethlehemite and an expert on the subject with us. Just before I introduce her, let me just read out some housekeeping rules. So number one, this event is recorded and is live streamed on various social media platforms. So if you wish to remain anonymous during the session, please do so now. Moreover, keep yourself muted at all times. And if you have any questions to ask our speaker, please post them on the chat, and I will ask them towards the speaker later after her presentation. So with that done, let me introduce our special speaker. So we are joined with Lucy Talgiye. Lucy Talgiye is a Palestinian peace and human rights activist who works as the head of Women Department at the WIAM Palestinian Conflict Transformation Center. Lucy earned a BA from Bethlehem University and a MA in Democracy and Human Rights from Birzeit University. In March the 26th, 2022, Lucy has been elected as a council member for the municipality of Bethlehem for the second time. Lucy Talgiye has been cooperating with peace and women's organizations since 2007. She is a member in different networks and coalitions at a national and regional level, advocating for women's rights and issues mainly based on gender violence, domestic violence, and building strategies and developing policies to promote and protect women's rights by chairing many national committees and playing a major role in community raising awareness to change the community culture and attitudes. Amongst all those impressive accolades for her biography, Lucy is also one of the co-authors of the Kairos documents. Lucy, welcome.
Thank you, Samuel. Good evening, good morning to those who just started their days. Today, I'm going to take you to a journey to Bethlehem. Bethlehem is actually well known as the birthplace of Jesus Christ. Samuel started that I've been elected in 2017, and actually that was the first election for me. The second one, it started last year. We had a new election for the municipality council, and I've been one of three among three women. We are three women and 12 men in the municipality council of Bethlehem. Actually, that's also according to the quota, and the quota means the percentage of the participation of women has to be 3 among the 12. Plus, we have a Christian quota, 8 members Christian and 7 Muslims. And by, let's say, customary law, that the mayor and the vice mayor should be Christians. If the mayor is Orthodox, then the vice mayor would be Catholic. That's the customary law within the society. Plus, also the 8 members, the Christians members, representing 8 clans. Because we are, maybe you know or you don't know, that we are living in a tribal society. It's not that much based on democracy as the international, but it's based on the clans and also on the political parties. Today, I'm going to talk a bit about Bethlehem, and specifically Bethlehem municipality and what we are doing in the society. I know some of you that have been part of a journey to Bethlehem, and some of you are not. Just trying to remind you of the geopolitical status of Bethlehem. Bethlehem, it's located in the center city of Southwest Bank between Hebron and Jerusalem. It's 750 above the sea level. In 1918 up to 1948, it was under the British mandate. And Bethlehem, under the resolution 181 in the 1947 of the United Nations, was in the courts managed by the international administration. In 1949 up to 1967, under the Kingdom of Jordan rules. In 1995, till present, its state of Palestine, which started after Oslo Agreement that started in 1991, with and in 1993, Bethlehem totally became under the Palestinian Authority. I felt there are questions before continuing. What does it mean? Bethlehem is a tribal society. Tribal society, which means that claim. We are 8 claim within the society. The 8 represent the city council of the Christian part, and also the 7 claims in the within the Muslim society. I hope I clarified what does it mean tribal, which means that we are belongs to the extended big family. This is what we call it clans or tribal. Bethlehem city, the total area is 7.2 kilometers. 10 kilometers to the south of the old city of Jerusalem. The population in Bethlehem area is around 35,000 inhabitants, and 34% of them belongs to the young generations. Also, we have in Bethlehem 3 refugee camps, Aida, Azze, and Deheshe. The 3 refugee camps, they are refugees in their land, actually. They've been refugees since 1948. When the war started, Israel declared their state on the Palestinian land. So this is the 3 refugee camps that we have in Bethlehem. The biggest one is the Deheshe camp, more than 11,000 inhabitants. They are living in less than 1 kilometer. The wall, the segregation wall, apartheid wall, whatever, it started within the annexation, taking land from the Palestinian, from Jerusalem, and from Bethlehem area. Israel settlements, we have colonized settlement, 23 settlements around the Bethlehem area. The area, it's divided within Oslo, area B, area C, and area C, which is around 67.8%, which means full Israeli control. There is Israeli military closed areas, which is 40% of the governorate, and 64 from it, it's area C. Also, we have natural reserves, 19.4%, which is that we are not allowed on to build anything. Plus the bypass road, the barriers construction, and also barriers planned to take more land from Bethlehem areas. And we have one of the popular checkpoints. We call it checkpoint 300, which is between Bethlehem and Jerusalem. I mentioned about the land, the confiscation of the land, and I mentioned that Bethlehem area is really became more and more very small. The main entrance of Bethlehem, which is the checkpoint 300. Can you Samuel put the pictures, please? Which is number 5, that give pictures of the dehumanization of the laborers on daily basis. These pictures, it shows how they are treated at the checkpoints on daily basis. Those laborers, the only opportunities for them to go to Jerusalem to work there. And why is that? Because Bethlehem is total, you can say Bethlehem, not 60, 70% of it, we depend on tourism. No factories, nothing, not industrial city. The only things that we depend on tourism. The total area of Bethlehem, 7.2 kilometers, after approving the border expansion from 5.5 kilometers. That was in 2016. And it's not that far from Jerusalem. It's only 6 miles between Bethlehem and Jerusalem. And as Bethlehemites, it's really hard to go to Jerusalem unless I have a permission. And permission, when I can get it, only during the Christian feast, Easter or a Christmas. And they will never give the whole family a permit. I cannot remember in my life up till now that I had a family visit to Jerusalem, because we never got the permit, all the family together. And we are around 35 inhabitants in Bethlehem. Hello? Do you hear me? Yeah, okay. And we have 20 schools, which is, these schools are private schools, and it's being built part of the missionaries that the churches started long time ago, like the Franciscan or the Lutheran or the Orthodox. So mostly the non-governmental organization, it's run by the churches. And we have 11, 2 universities, and we have 9 governmental schools. Basically, the governmental schools, we don't believe in the education of the governmental schools. So most of the people, they like their kids to be raised in governmental, non-governmental schools. 35% of the population in Bethlehem city is the age group of 10 years and over and economically active. Only 19 of the economically active population are female. And this is also part of the work that I'm working in, to increase more female in the market. Unemployment rate is 24, the highest in the West Bank. And actually, Bethlehem is the highest governorate after Khan Yunis. Khan Yunis reached above 56% unemployment, and Bethlehem is 24 right now. But with the COVID, it's reached up to 80% unemployment. The development strategies that we are working on with the municipality. In June 2012, Bethlehem actually municipality been working hard to put the Nativity Church and the Star Street, the oldest street in Bethlehem, they call it the Patriarch Streets, under the World Heritage Site. So we think that it might give more and more visibility for the country and to bring more tourists to this. So right now, Bethlehem Star Street, it's part of the World Heritage Site with the UNESCO. Cultural life. The cultural life, we have the Peace Center. The Peace Center is an open space for the community, multicultural hall. People come and use the hall for free to do lots of cultural events. But the culture events that the Bethlehem municipality organized, the main one, it's the Christmas tree lighting. And usually, when is that happening? It happens on the first Saturday of December. And all the governorates, they will be waiting Bethlehem municipality to do the Christmas lighting, and then they continue because they believe that the start happens in Bethlehem. So the kick of the lighting of the trees start in Bethlehem, and then Ramallah and other governorates, they will have. It's a big event. Usually we have around 10 up to 12,000 participants, and also lots of internationals join us, especially from the twinning city, and they have the space also to join us in performing during the Christmas lightning. The Christmas parade, it happens on the Christmas Eve on the 24th of December. Usually it happens in the Patriarch Estate, which is the Star Street, the old street in Bethlehem. Also, we have the Ramadan parade and the Olive Harvest Festival. You might know that Palestine is popular with the olive trees for many reasons. One of it's Jesus prayed in the Gethsemane under the olive tree. Our President Arafat, when he went to the UN, he called for peace, and he was carrying in his hand a branch of the olive trees. And also, we believe as a Palestinian, we are rooted in this land as the olive trees. It's really hard to take the olive tree from the land, despite the Israelis is uprooting lots of olive trees from the land, but still we are here rooted in this land. And this is, and also it gives a space for the Martians to sell their olive and also the oil. Bethlehem, it's one of the cities really popular in the handcrafts made from the olive wood and also from the mother of pearl. Embroidery, it's also part of the identity, especially each stitches in the embroidery, it represents either village or it represents occasions like marriage, or if the woman is widow. So they have a different stitches that they are using within the embroidery. Also, we have dance and theater, sports, and I'm a proud cousin because my cousin, she's the one that started the soccer football for the women in Palestine. Culturally, sports is very limited, especially the soccer for men, not the women. And she's the one that's starting the soccer team in Bethlehem and in Palestine. And right now, she's serving at the FIFA as a communication officer there. And she's trying to work hard for the Palestinians to increase and also to have more women participation in sports. The project that right now we are working within the city, first of all, we are trying to follow the globe, which is working on the SDGs. SDGs, which is the Sustainable Development Goals until 2030. So part of the project that we are working, we call it Bethlehem Smart City, which is help the Bethlehem in the field of 3D mapping for the old city, and also the energy efficiency in public building, new streets, using the LED lights in order to reduce the power, and also have the creation of landscape museum in Bethlehem. Bethlehem also, it's really dry for many reasons. One of it's shortage of water. The second, we don't have much space. But despite of all of that, we are trying to make Bethlehem a green city. So through our twinning city, we try to develop projects with help in the field of solid waste management also, and reduce the waste, recycling. Also, we have a project, we call it Nature Mid project. It's funded by the Barcelona from Spain in the field of green areas to plant to plant lots of plants, flowers to make our city more beautiful to the eyes of the tourists. Also, we are working hard on the rehabilitation of commercial and historic center of Bethlehem. It helped the Bethlehem to revitalize the old city of Bethlehem by creation of the public culture event and rehabilitation of the main road in the city center. Also, we work on the management of waste from the general market of Bethlehem. Also, we work on this is actually the service that we are doing in the city, rehabilitation the internal road. Despite what I mentioned, I will continue on that. We have a shortage of financial, plus the income that we get for the municipality, it goes direct to the PA, and the PA will transfer the money for the municipality. So always we have shortage of liquidation in order to work on the field or on the project that we are doing for the cities. One of the challenges that we are facing also with mobility, Bethlehem is really small. The mobility, the traffic, it's really high. Lots of cars within the cities. Part of the projects that we are trying to work on making, especially the old cities of Bethlehem, to be pedestrian in order to reduce the mobility for the cars to enter these historical sites. And also we are trying to create public space in Bethlehem. So a new way of living in Bethlehem through creating pedestrian zone and electronic mobility and awareness campaign. So this is the work that we are trying to do. So in a bullets, what we are trying to do: infrastructure projects, roads, internal roads. Also, we love to work in Area C, the chaotic area in Bethlehem, which is Area C, because we are not allowed to work in these areas until we get a permit from the Israeli sites. Also in the old city, the strategy project for its stairs, road, construction and renovation of the old houses, especially in the Star Streets, we have lots of old houses. There is no inhabitant living in it because it's really old and it needs lots of money to rehabilitate it or to reconstruct it. So we are trying to find ways how to help people to work on it. Also, shops in the streets. We have a marketing plan for the Star Streets because we have around 92 shops. 3 shops only is open. So around 82, 89 shops are closed. Also, what we are doing, public service projects, working on making Bethlehem green and beautiful, light, equipment, social panel, Christmas celebration, digital library. We are working on the digital library, also on the archive of Bethlehem historical history. So another pictures that use the rows. How Samuel, you can go through like 2-3 of it. So this is the work that we are trying to do. These streets, the plans to rehabilitate it and to have instruction in it, so to make it easy for the passengers or the people to use it. because in Bethlehem, actually, we have two main roads, Jerusalem Hebron Road and Major Street Road. Those two, the main streets that leads to the city center. All these pictures that I put it, that help you to give you an idea of the reconstructions that we are working in the city. And the beneficiaries will be the people, what we are doing, the beneficiaries, main beneficiaries is the Bethlehemite people, and also with the tourists. The challenges that we are having, I mentioned the mobility, I mentioned lack of financial, and also one of the important things, the shortage of waters that we are living, especially during summertime. So we have to cooperate with the Israelis in order to increase the cubes of water that they are giving it to the Palestinians. Plus, we are paying 13 times more than the Israelis that they are paying. So we pay for the cube 13 shekels, they are paying 1 shekel. They have all the facilities, we don't have it. Because Israel, they are the one that control the water, and we depend on them to give us the water in order to distribute it to the community. So this summer, it was really tough summer. The shortage of water is really high. Plus the sewage, the Israelis, like the office were located just in front, the office that I work with, the Palestinian Center for Conflict Transformation, is located in front of the tower of the Israelis and the big doors that they use it, the Israelis. Like 2 days, it's been 2 days, all their sewage in the street and also in the gardens of Wiam. The smell of the sewage, it's really high. So what we can do? We can do nothing. The only thing that we can call the district office to tell the Israelis to stop it. And it's been 2 days without stopping it. So all the sewage, it's in the street and in our garden. Can I look at the questions? You provide a booklet for photos of these types and plans that can obtain by any. Yes, we can. We can give you a booklet with all the projects that we are planning. Water is not a crime. Is this not a crime? Yes, for the Israelis, it's a penalty they are giving us as a Palestinian. And plus, if the family, they don't have water, then they have to buy it. And buying a tank of water, it costs around 500 shekels, which is really high for a family to pay for it. Right now, one of the projects that we are working, which is the public library. In Bethlehem, we have one public library, which belongs to Bethlehem universities. Cinemas in that total of Bethlehem, we don't have cinemas. So these facilities, it's needed for the community. And also it's a safe environment for them. Through watching theater or a film, they will air their stress through watching these movies. So these days, people use only TV. We don't have any cinemas in our areas. Also, we work a lot on the environment and the climate change. We have a project, we call it Bethlehem Clean, Bethlehem Green. And it's about to make it together, we can make a difference by reducing the waste, dividing the waste, and raising awareness. And that's what we are trying to do, raising awareness at schools, green the main road, gardens, campaigns, eco-friendly, and hope one day we'll have zero waste. That's a dream. And also the lightning system within the Bethlehem city, it really need to be changed. So this is only samples of our plan in the future if we afford to buy. So we will change and we will be using the solar power. Also, electronic cars. Why we need these electronic cars? These electronic cars, we will be using it for the inhabitants that they are living in Star Street to facilitate their life, because it will be pedestrian from the 1st of October, and also for tourists who has difficulty in mobility. So these cars will be carrying the tourists to Manger Square. And actually, before a couple of days, we got two, and hopefully we'll have the chance to get more and more. The next slides, which is purchasing equipment which will be needed for the services that we are providing in the cities. We started the solar panels. We have the parking building for the municipality, which is where the tourist buses will park. On top of the roof, we started to have this project with the funds of Italian twinning city, Turin city. I mentioned a bit about the Christmas celebrations, because for the Palestinian, Christmas celebration is a big event in Bethlehem city. We are planning to have a Christmas market from now up till Christmas, 2 days in a month. Within 2 weeks, each Saturday we'll be doing the Christmas marketing. And this is Christmas marketing also with event like musical events. First, it gives life and make it vital street for the community to come and see, buy. It would help also to increase the income, especially the households that they are working at house to sell their products. I mentioned a bit about the digital library and archiving that we are working. Soon we will open a museum at the Peace Center. We call it Al-Riwaya, which means telling the history. And it will be hearing the story of the Palestine, hearing the story of Bethlehem, hearing the story of Jesus, what's happening in Bethlehem. It will be audio also. The streets, and I think this is a bit of pieces what we are doing. Also, as Lucy, one of the campaign usually I'm working on, which is on breast cancer campaign. Because I do a rally, a pink rally. We call it the Hope Rally, inviting people to join us using their bicycles. And there's lots of messages during the theme, also raising awareness of the breast cancer, also sports for all, and also reducing the pollution within the city. So trying to encourage people to use bicycle within the city. And we are working also to have some streets for people to use bicycle despite Bethlehem, it's a hilly up and down, but also we are trying to find some places for the people to use these bicycles. Bethlehem, globally, we have around 134 twinning city, which means that we have a twin city, let's say with Turin, we have projects together. They offer us helps in many ways, financially, culturally, scholarship for students. It depends on the capacity of the twin city. Like before a couple of days, we have two twin cities from Greccio and Assisi. We have a petition, let's say, about coexistence, peace, and justice for Palestine. So I think I will stop here and we'll open the space for the Q and answer for the participants to ask. Or I will say something about, as a woman being among the 12 men, what is the challenges that I'm facing within the council?
Yeah, you choose, Lucy. It's your decision.
Let's take questions, and maybe through the questions I will answer.
Yeah. Thank you for that presentation. It seems like there's so many projects and so much to do. This is a question, I think it's related to last week Kumi's now, which was about education. Does the Israeli government have any influence, any control within the curriculum of private schools within Bethlehem?
In Bethlehem, no, but in Jerusalem, yes. In Jerusalem lately, they are stopping the students and searching their bags. No more history. They don't want to allow the Jerusalemite schools to teach the Palestinian history or anything which is related to the Palestinian. They have ultimatum for the teachers in Jerusalem, but not Bethlehem. Despite, let's say, Bethlehem is under the Palestinian society, but honestly, we don't have sovereignty on our land. In any minutes, they can enter, they can arrest, they can do whatever they want. Last week, they entered the city center of Bethlehem and they arrested a guy. He was eating falafel. So there is no control. In Palestine, the Palestinian cannot control anything, despite we have the Palestinian Authority. But authority with lack of authority.
And is the council you're a part of responsible for the city of Bethlehem alone, or also the whole governance?
No, actually only Bethlehem, but also we are serving in many ways. Let's say last month, the UN, the camps, it would be responsible for the UN. The UN, they stopped collecting the trash. We cannot leave the city without collecting the trash. So Bethlehem municipality did the service for the three camps. They have each city, they have their own councils, and it depends on the inhabitants. If it's a big cities, they have it a local council, a municipality. If it's a group of people like a village, they combine like 2-3 villages and they have a local council.
Yeah, and in Jerusalem, you all the time see tours which are engineered not to go to the West Bank and not to go to other Palestinian areas. But also, every now and again, you do have some Israeli-led tour groups visiting Bethlehem. is there a way of informing them of the facts that you presented us today once they've entered into Bethlehem and on our tour guide? And if so, how?
Actually, this is a very difficult issue. You know that most of the tourists that they are coming through Israel income tourism, most of them. So they have rules for the tour guide, and they have even rules when they come to Bethlehem. When they come to Bethlehem, only direct to the Nativity Church. They visit the church and they leave. Once they have full occupancy within the Jerusalem hotel, they bring tourists to come to Bethlehem to stay overnight. Even they have a big signs when you enter Palestinian cities. It's a dangerous area. Don't go. Which is, we are telling the internationals, come and see. And you know this project with Sabil, with Kumi, with Kairos. Most of us, we are working on telling the people the truth through the stories from the Palestinians' narrative, not from the Israelis' narrative. So when the tourists come to Bethlehem as individuals, they feel it totally different. But when they come through only Israelis agents, they come and go. Even like, I will tell you a story that happened to me before a couple of days. I was driving my cars, and it was in a very hilly area between Bethlehem and Bet Sahur. I saw people, I felt that they are from Nigeria. And they cannot, some of them, they have disabilities. They cannot keep going all the way to Manger Square walking. So I stopped my car and I asked them, ma'am, do you need help? She said, yes, I want to go to Manger Square. I said, okay, I can give you a ride. So 4 of them jumped in the car. And we were talking and they said, oh, Israel is really nice. I said, but you are not in Israel. You are in Palestine. And they were like, what? I said, yes, you are in Palestine. And unfortunately, I felt that the advocating work that we did with the World Council of Churches in Nigeria, it went with the wind. I cannot remember the year, but I went representing Kairos, Palestine, to Nigeria. And why we target Nigeria? Because Nigerian government each year, they are sending around 50,000 to the Holy Land. They call it Holy Land. You cannot find Palestine. And they don't know nothing about Palestine. So we went and we had lots of meetings with stakeholders, with the head of churches, went to universities here and there, but still we didn't get the fruit of our advocacy work that we are doing it for these areas. And I think that it's really important to work more and more within the country that they don't know a word or a country called Palestine. Despite of all of the social medias, and they can do their work like job, Google, but they don't. So back to those ladies that I met, and I start to clarify what about Palestine, and you are in Palestine, Israel occupied. So now they get the idea where they are. And definitely they have something in their minds. Now, no, we are in Palestine, not Israel. And they are two states, Palestine, and there is Israel. And Israel occupied Palestine. So that's the word that I try to tell them more than once, to print it in their minds.
You know, it was funny you mentioned it because once when I was doing some, I looked up the municipality members of Bethlehem City, and I was trying to find out more information about you. And I clicked the first link, the members of municipality in Bethlehem City, and I saw people named Josh and Stephen and James, and I was shocked. And
no, that's Bethlehem, Pennsylvania could be.
Exactly. So
I
was
know.
like, What is this? That it's Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I can't tell you the times I've said, yeah, you know, Jerusalem, it's next to Bethlehem. Ah, you mean Jerusalem in a state in the United States, or Bethlehem in Pennsylvania? So even that, you know, is adds to the kind of
It happens. It happens with me many times. When I went to
yeah.
speaking engagement tour in the state, and when I introduced myself, Lucy, coming from Bethlehem, Palestine, and I got a question. But are you from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania? I said, no, I'm from Bethlehem, Palestine. They said, there is no Palestine. I said, no, there is Palestine. It's in, and I show my pin in the at the map in the heart of Israel.
Yeah. I know that you're traveling and you must go soon, so I'm going to just ask some important questions in the chat. And I apologize if I don't manage to ask all the questions. But one question is, you know, you're working as one of the lead women coordinator with WIAM, the Center for Reconciliation in Palestine. Is the amount of violence against women increasing or decreasing in Bethlehem?
Actually, it's increasing. And domestic violence increasing for many reasons. One of the main reasons, which is deteriorating of the economic situation, living under man dominant, also the small space that we are living in, it's suffocating. People get angry easily. Summertime as a center, we've been mediating lots of cases. Why? Especially summertime, people get temper in really high. Domestic violence, it's increased for many reasons, as I mentioned. It's living under man domination, man dominant, patriarchal society, economical deteriorating. All these factors play a big role. So when we do lots of awareness raising, we work on women empowerment. We need to empower women. We need more women to be represent us. Why do you think I entered the election? Because I felt like the women political participation is really, the percentage is really low. Plus, women in the field of the market, it's really low. And even if they are in the market with low standard, with less wage, even if I have a master's degree and you have a master's degree, the salary is totally different, would be different. There is no equity within the society in many ways. And I felt that as Lucy, all the time working with women on raising awareness, preaching, you should be a decision maker, you should stand for your rights. So I felt it's time from preaching to reaching. So that's how I went to that field.
Yeah, and you know, I saw that WIAM did a Thursdays in Black, which is a project
Yes,
with the WCC, which marks every Thursday. It's called Thursday in Black,
yeah,
and it's to raise awareness and try and envision a world where there's no rape and gender violence
true.
around the world. And part of gender violence is the occupation. Yeah, a
True.
lot.
This is the main cause for us is the occupations. And you can analyze it from the economic, political, social, cultural, it's occupation. And lately, I don't know if you heard about what happens to the women in Hebron. They force them to be naked. Despite all of the international convention, international UN resolutions, there is no respect for any resolution.
Yeah. So in many cases, like when we talk about gender justice, it also means ending the occupation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
It's all lead to one main cause.
Yeah. And it's all connected, as you say. There's all intersections of oppression.
Yes.
And this leads me to the next question is, does your council, the council that you're working with in Bethlehem, does it work closely with the 3 refugee camps in Bethlehem? And if
They
so, yeah.
Yes. So the 3 refugee camp, it's part of the Bethlehem Governorate. As I mentioned, the service that we are giving them is as inhabitant of Bethlehem. But the UN, they are the one responsible for the camps. When the UN, they don't do their job, we fill it.
Mm. And how does that look like when Israeli military raids come? How powerful or not powerful? What can you do?
We cannot do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, we are Palestinian authority, but unfortunately, we don't have any authority in our hands. We are serving as secretary for the Israelis in many ways.
Yeah. I think just before we finish, the Bethlehem being a center for tourism, and tourism being a huge political, factor within politics plays a big role in tourism in Palestine and in Israel. You do so many projects, there's so many issues. What are stuff that we can be doing, both collectively and individually, whether it's talking to pilgrims, whether it's coming to Bethlehem and supporting different projects? What can we do to be in solidarity with you and to take action?
Actually, what you are doing right now, it's really important. Changing mindset of the fake story of the Palestinian are terrorists. Bethlehem is safe a place to come for tourists. I think that the Israelis, if they have the capacity to move the Nativity Church and put it inside Israel, they will do it. So because the only thing tourists come for what? For visiting the holy places. Within the holy actions that happening from the Israeli sides, it gives lots of indicators for us and also for the internationals. If they believe that they have brothers and sisters living in Palestine, living under occupation, living under dehumanizations on daily basis that we are facing from the occupations, they should stand for justice. And always we say it, we don't want the people to be pro-Palestinian or pro-Israelis. We want them to be pro-justice. So work for justice. Come and see. It's one of the main things that it's really important for the internationals to come, but not to come as tourists. Come, meet with the living stones, not visiting the dead stones.
Amen. Lucy, maybe I maybe just give us a bit of a glimpse of what makes you wake up in the morning. You have so much on your plate. You have so much work to do. You are doing so much. I know that after this, you're straight away going to travel. What makes you wake up in the morning with hope and with pro-action?
What's make me wake up in the morning? First, I should thank God that I'm healthy. Wake up in the morning in a good health, which means that still I have energy to serve my community. And I do believe, as Lucy, as a Christian, living in born and raised in Bethlehem, I have indeed a strong message from God to work in this city. I could be everywhere. I have the chances to travel to many places. But if you ask me, would you be able to stay there? I would say, I don't want to stay. I don't feel myself unless I feel myself working with my community. My community needs me to work. So the hope also that comes from the internationals, finding people who support us as a cause for justice. This is a message of hope. Also, instead of cursing the darkness, let's light the candle. We can, through the candle, we see the dawn. So we believe that the wall will fall. Berlin Wall was there a long time ago, but still, and it's fall one day. And we believe, we have hope, and we believe, and with the strong steadfastness as a Palestinian we have to keep up the good work.
Yes, and if there's few of us to do the good work and to be salt of the earth, we must give more and provide even more salt if there's few of us. So thank you so much, Lucy, for all the work that you're doing. And for those who are interested in contacting Lucy and seeing her activities, you can see in the Kumi Now newsletter how to get into contact with her, or just email the Kumi Now team or Sabil, and we'd be happy to provide information and ways of getting in contact with Lucy. So thank you so much for all of your good work and your inspiring attitude as well.
Thank you for giving me the space to be with among this very supportive group.
It's definitely our pleasure. It is our pleasure, and we are going to continue with our series in Kumi Now with different cities. With next week going to Gaza, we'll be speaking to a Palestinian theologian from Gaza who is currently finishing his PhD. So I would really recommend all of you guys to stay tuned. And he kind of touches on some things that you said. He uses a theology of the olive tree. So please stay tuned for next week. And with that, I wish you all a blessed day. Go out in peace, whether it's, continuing your day or finishing your day. May you have an amazing evening, morning, or afternoon. And with that, I will say goodbye and remain hopeful.
Thank you. Bye-bye.